Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, success just keeps slipping away? Is destiny truly written in stone, or can we change it with our actions? This is the story of a man who thought fate had abandoned him, until he discovered a truth that changed his life forever. A long time ago, in the quiet village of Ravenwood, there lived a man named Adam Carter. He was a hard-working farmer. Yet no matter how much effort he put into his land, he barely earned enough to feed his family. Droughts, failed crops, and misfortune seemed to follow him like a shadow. Every evening, Adam sat outside his small cottage, staring at the sky, wondering why fate had been so cruel to him. Why do I suffer while others prosper? He often asked himself. One day, an old traveler passing through the village heard Adam's complaints. The traveler was none other than Sage Elias, a wise man known for his deep understanding of life and fate. Elias approached Adam and said, "My son, why do you believe fate is against you?" Adam sighed, "I have worked tirelessly, yet nothing changes. Maybe I was never meant to succeed." Elias smiled and said, "Come with me to the valley tomorrow, and I will show you something that may change your life." The next morning, Adam followed Elias to a valley where two trees stood side by side. One tree was tall and full of ripe fruits, while the other was thin and weak, its branches barely holding a few shriveled leaves. Elias pointed at the weak tree and asked, "What do you see?" Adam shrugged. "A dying tree, struggling to survive." Elias then pointed at the strong tree, "And this one?" "A tree full of life," Adam responded. Elias smiled. Both trees were planted on the same day, in the same soil. But one grew strong, while the other remained weak. Do you know why? Adam shook his head. Elias picked up a handful of soil and let it slip through his fingers. The strong tree had deep roots, reaching the richest parts of the soil. It sought what it needed. The weak tree, however, never extended its roots far enough. It relied on what was near, never exploring further. It failed to adapt, and so it remained weak. Adam frowned. "What does this have to do with me?" Elias smiled knowingly. "Your fate is not your enemy, Adam. It is your teacher. If you only work hard but never question if you're doing things the right way, your efforts will go to waste, just like the weak tree. Hard work without direction is like a boat without a sail. You must adapt, learn, and change your approach. Only then will your fate begin to shift." Adam returned home that evening deep in thought. He realized he had been planting the same crops year after year, never considering the possibility of change. He had been blaming fate instead of seeking new opportunities. That night, he made a decision. He would no longer be the weak tree. The next day, Adam traveled to the nearby town of Fairbrook, where he met an expert farmer who taught him better irrigation techniques, soil enrichment, and crop rotation methods. Adam experimented with different seeds and started growing high-demand crops instead of the usual grains. Months turned into years, and soon his barren land transformed into a lush and abundant farm. The same people who once pitted him now came to him for advice. One evening, Adam sat outside his cottage, watching the golden fields sway in the wind. He smiled, remembering the wise sage's words. Fate is not written in stone. It is shaped by our actions. Years later, Sage Elias visited Ravenwood again and found Adam standing proudly on his farm. Elias chuckled, "You have grown into a mighty tree, my son." Adam bowed with gratitude. "And all because I learned to stretch my roots deeper." Elias nodded. "Remember, fate only favors those who take charge of their own destiny. Your destiny is not fixed. It is built by your choices, your mindset, and your willingness to change. Hard work is important, but without the right knowledge, adaptability, and strategy, effort alone will not lead to success. So the next time life feels unfair, ask yourself, am I planting the right seeds? Am I stretching my roots deep enough? Because the answer to your fate lies in the way you choose to grow.